Saturday morning cartoons were supposed to keep you quiet while your parents slept off Friday's hangover. Colourful animation, moral lessons, upbeat music, what could possibly go wrong? Turns out, quite a bit. Welcome back. Today we're skipping the famous overcovered bands like Pokémon Seizure episode and digging into 10 obscure and disturbing kids' cartoon episodes that crossed the line so hard networks had to pull them from the air. Sometimes forever. Stay with me now. Mr. Ratburn. Arthur is one of the longest running, most wholesome educational shows in public broadcasting history. There have been a handful of questionable episodes over the years.
It's not pink! It's fuchsia! Oh. He's a knitter!
But it was the season 22 premiere that sparked a wave of regional broadcast bans across the United States. The episode revealed that Arthur's teacher, Mr. Ratburn, was getting married to another male character. While millions of viewers praised the episode for inclusivity, Alabama Public Television and several regional networks refused to air the episode, replacing it with a rerun. It stands as a modern example of how cultural politics can get a wholesome kids' cartoon yanked from the air. Rude removal. In 1997, a special episode of Dexter's Laboratory was produced for the Animation Festival circuit. Dexter invents a machine to remove the rudeness from himself and Dee Dee, which accidentally creates foul-mouthed evil clones. The entire second half of the episode consisted of the clones screaming an uninterrupted barrage of actual profanity, bleeped out of course, but completely unmistakable.
Oh dear. Excuse me, sir, but we think that was very rude and we are in want of an apology. Yeah, here's your apology.
Cartoon Network execs found it so wildly inappropriate for their broadcast standards that the episode was instantly shelved, locked into a corporate vault and banned from television airing worldwide. One beer. Educational episodes warning kids about dangerous habits are common, but in 1991, Tiny Toon Adventures took the anti-alcohol PSA concept to a bizarrely catastrophic extreme. In the segment, Buster, Plucky and Hampton find a single unopened bottle of beer in the fridge. After taking one sip each, they instantly turn into disheveled, slurring alcoholics. They steal a police tow truck and drive it directly off a massive cliff, resulting in a screen-fading explosion where the characters literally die and go to heaven. The tonal shift was so bleak and traumatizing that Fox Kids banned the episode after one single airing. Pingu's Dream. Pingu was a cute stop-motion show about a little penguin living in the Antarctic. It was meant to be harmless entertainment for toddlers. Enter the 1986 episode, Pingu's Dream. In a nightmare sequence, Pingu's bed comes alive and walks away, trapping him in the abyss. Out of the darkness emerges a massive, hyper-detailed giant walrus with terrifying human teeth that squishes Pingu's bed, laughs maniacally and torments him. The visual design was so viscerally nightmaric that the UK's CBBC and several global networks had to ban the episode from broadcast for over 2 decades. Man's Best Friend. Ren and Stimpy was already notorious for testing Nickelodeon's patience, but the episode Man's Best Friend proved to be the absolute breaking point that got the series creator fired. The plot involves Ren and Stimpy being adopted by an abusive owner named George Liquor. The climax features Ren snapping psychologically and violently beating George with a wooden oar in a hyper-detailed graphic sequence involving bulging eyes, intense screams and blood-red lighting. Nickelodeon refused to air the episode, shelving it completely until the show moved to adult late-night TV years later.
You did it now, Ren!
Sad Henry. You remember Thomas the Tank Engine as a gently narrated, warm kids show. But in 1984, the show broadcast an episode for toddlers that read more like a horror script. In the episode, an engine named Henry refuses to leave a tunnel because he's afraid the rain will ruin his fresh green paint. The solution isn't to talk him down or wait out the storm. Instead, the railway crew takes up the tracks, builds a solid brick wall inside the tunnel, and seals Henry alive in absolute darkness. The narrator calmly tells toddler viewers that Henry will stay there forever, watching other trains speed past as his paint peels, his boiler runs cold, and he's left to rot in the dark forever. The immediate outrage for parents was so severe that the producers had to rush out a sequel episode to unbreak him. But for one solid week in 1984, millions of children were left with the disturbing lesson that if you inconvenience your boss, you will get buried alive in a brick tomb. Nice.
But I think he deserved his punishment. Don't you?
Midlife crustacean. You don't really expect SpongeBob to get pulled from the air for illegal behaviour, but in 2018, Nickelodeon quietly purged a classic 2003 episode. In the episode Midlife Crustacean, Mr. Krabs feels old and asks SpongeBob and Patrick to take him out for a wild night. The climax is the trio breaking into a woman's house at night to steal her underwear. The disturbing kicker comes when they realise the house they broke into belongs to Mr. Krabs' own mother. After years and years of reruns, this episode was permanently shelved for, I think, very obvious reasons. Pool Demon. In 1994, Nickelodeon aired an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, so utterly nightmare-inducing that it broke the obvious rule of kids' television. Monsters aren't actually supposed to look this horrific. The plot follows two teenagers who reopen a long-abandoned high school swimming pool that was sealed off after a student mysteriously drowned. They soon discover why it was sealed. The pool was built directly over a dark ancient burial site, awaking a vengeful pool demon. Practical effects legend Steve Johnson designed a fleshless, corpse-red demon covered in dripping rot and acid that actually smelt like sulphur. The monster drags teenagers underwater, turns the pool into red acid, and pulls the kids down into the deep end by his ankles. Kids, of course, refuse to go to swimming pools, and so will I going forward. Therefore, the episode was banned. The Grundle. In 1987, an episode of The Real Ghostbusters aired that crossed into the predatory. The episode introduces the Grundle, a dark reptilian entity that stalks children, hides in their closets, and whispers to them at night. He slowly corrupts them, convincing them to steal, lie, and act out. The more the child listens to the Grundle, the more their physical body mutates. Teeth sharpen, eyes turn yellow, and they slowly transform into the Grundle themselves. The episode explicitly frames the monster as a metaphor for predatory influence and addiction, showing a child being psychologically groomed into becoming a monster. Naturally, the network was flooded with letters from parents, and so the episode was pulled. The Mysterious Stranger. The Adventures of Mark Twain was a 1985 stop-motion film marketed directly at children and aired on family cable networks. But one specific segment, based on an unfinished Mark Twain story, is widely considered one of the most disturbing sequences ever broadcast to kids. The main characters meet a being named Satan, who wears a blank, lifeless porcelain mask. Satan crafts tiny little clay people, builds them a village, and then out of pure boredom smashes them into pieces, burns their town, and calmly explains that human lives mean nothing in the cosmic scale. Cable channels quietly cut the entire scene after receiving thousands of letters from terrified parents.
Life itself is only a vision, a dream. Nothing exists save empty space And you are but a thought.
I'm curious now, which of these banned episodes disturbs you the most? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe if you're brave enough to leave the sleepwalkers and own the narrative. Good luck.